Stream Elements said, "A dog door is now live. Streaming DCS World, A-18 Prac with the 56 OG."
Erico, Linenhead, welcome. Excuse me.
left, roll left. Flight controls. Flight controls.
DCS?
It's definitely DCS.
Remember the first time I played with no clue how to play, just press random buttons and put thruster to full, and crashed off of the runway.
That's pretty much how I roll. Pretty much how I roll. Actually, probably getting slightly better. But it's only because of the excellent instruction from the boys on the 56 OG. Alright, so have we rolled that down?
Forgot what anything the tutorial was saying to do.
This is too much to fit in your brain. It's like, I got like 3 things I can fit in there. And usually that's food, alcohol, and sleep. And possibly 4, need to go to the bathroom. Rinse and repeat. So, oh, that's what I need to do. Uncage the Duva. And then day night. .6, 14.3, da-da-da-da. The person chatting, are you in YouTube vertical or YouTube normal? Because I'm testing text-to-speech across multiple platforms, and the only way I can see the chat is to hear it with text-to-speech. Good to know. 8.6. What am I missing? Look, this goes to nav once it's counted down to 0. 5.3, 5.0. Hey, Hampius. .6.
YouTube normal on the phone.
Sweet. I'm glad it's working. I've only recently got the chat to text. It doesn't come up because I have like a, up here, I have like a Twitch to DCS chat. But yeah, if it's not Twitch and I can't hear it, I can't hear it. But I'm pleased it works. Anti-skid off. Bypass field down. Brakes on. Reset has been done. I've done my trim. That's counted down to... Was it at 2.7? So slow. Hurry up. .2, 1.1. Counting down. We'll get there. CM bypass. .5. Actually, 0.5, I think we're golden, so I think he said switch this to nav. I wonder who that is on our carrier. Anyone in... Nobody. Good. Looks so cool though. So I should be able to cage TCN now. Yeah, it worked. I think we're golden. I should be able to give him the old salute. Parking brake off. Beanie beanie. Where are you sending me, mate? Is this cool or is this cool? Whoa. Go use my mirrors. The hell just happened? Alright, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I need to salute. Did not reset my trim, that's for sure. Sloppy. What the hell is going on?
Yo.
Oh, you scared the shit out of me. How you doing?
Sorry to leave you hanging for so long. I was having some troubles with girl persons.
Those girl persons. We'll do it every time.
Yeah. Every time, man.
It's very, very sloppy, very fast. I'm not even going to bother trying to land with that.
Oh, did you like do a launch just to practice landing?
I did a launch to practice launching, and then I figure I'm up, so I might as well practice landing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of air to ground. SAM activation, drone lasing. I'm wondering if they have like a anti-ship, like quick little anti-ship mission you can do.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Oh yeah, there are. There's ships over here. Naval targets, big. All right, sweet. They're just west of the carrier.
Go. Why? It's my. Must be arm crazy trim. That's the issue.
Oh. Where is my... There we are. I got that on.
Why is my HSI offset to the left by like 7 miles?
HSI?
Oh, the little virtual green aircraft that floats on your thing, like offset to the left by like. Well, I'm gonna get myself a fresh aircraft. Are you napkin?
I am, yeah. Yeah, we had a whole bunch of like guys named Blue and we had another guy named Glue, so it was super confusing. So I was like, I used to be I am a truck driver, and my CB handle was Napkin because they all said if I, or what did they say? They said if you rolled down the window, you'd fly out like a napkin. I was like, all right, that works. And usually you get your call signs usually by a hazing, not necessarily something that you want. So I was like, I'll just use napkin.
Yep. Battery on. AP on. Crank right. Come on, crank right. There you go. Oxygen on. Is it radar standby?
Oh yeah, I don't know if it matters as far as the startup sequence goes, but I usually put it in standby first and then operational.
You put flare on.
Flare I leave.
Roll left.
I don't touch flare until I've done like
Flight controls.
everything
Flight
else.
controls.
But you can put it on standby for the time being, like while you're starting up.
And is it CV, the startup? INS?
Oh wait, what?
INS should be on IFA, shouldn't it, initially?
No, on the ground, whenever you're doing your alignment, that needs to be CV.
CV.
Or if you're on a carrier, it needs to be CV. If you're on the ground, it needs to be ground. And then you click your store heading button after you start your alignment. So that display in between your legs, the one that I'm jealous of. Hey, you need there's I think it's the second switch on the bottom row. We'll say stores heading or stored heading, and you'll select that, and that'll start your alignment. And then whenever the alignment says OK on that screen, you're good to put it in IFA.
Okay. Expensive. So I got my engines on. And
Ooh.
try to trim like that. Internal IFF. Turn on TCN. Turn it on again.
Might be super random, but I just got the overwhelming need to listen to some friggin' Whitney Houston.
What then I have to move section.
And I love you. Dude, when she hits that note, that shit's crazy good.
Mad skills, huh?
Oh, yeah. They don't make them like they used to.
Damn it, what menu did I want? Was it HSI on the left screen? I don't even remember.
Ooh, what are you looking for?
What screen to put on my left.
I usually put my flare on my left. And then I'll usually do my radar on my right, and then my waypoints and everything in between my legs. In between my legs, dude. I'm letting my pecker steer me, dude.
Uncaged that. Put it on the horizon. Shit, now what? So TCN has been turned on. No, I can't remember the next step. Damn it.
Well, I'd like to help you, but I need to ask what you're missing.
Oh, I did manage to cage TCN, there's something. And then switch to nav. What point do you switch to nav?
So you don't switch to nav. Okay, so in between your legs on that screen, does it say OK next to those numbers?
This time 0.
Here, you wanna stream for me real quick?
Yeah, the stream should be up actually on
On Twitch.
Twitch or YouTube.
Clips, live stream. Freaking ads, dude.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nah, that's not because I get it premium or whatever. And I just don't use Twitch enough to use premium. Alright, so in between your legs on that screen, it says, it's got a whole bunch of numbers below it, it looks like. Yeah, see the second button on the bottom where it says store heading? Are you still in a line? Oh, it just started actually. It automatically just started for you. See that countdown timer? Yeah. Yeah, so it'll start doing that. If you want to kickstart that, what you would do is you would hit stored heading at the bottom of that screen. See the button that corresponds to stored heading?
But it's already started, so we're good.
Yeah, I don't think you have to.
After time, presumably. So that counts down to 0.5 and then you switch to nav.
No, you will switch to IFA. I don't know why it's like that. Most other jets you switch it to nav, but this one you switch it to IFA instead.
Right. What do we do while we're waiting for it to do that? Oh, look, Exy's joined.
Wait, who?
No, Exy left. Excalibur just joined the chat.
Man said earlier, he was like, it's not about the objective or whatever, it's the friends you make along the way. And I was like, gay. But I was like, true. Oh, did you just join Discord?
What are you guys doing?
Oh, it's Blackbird. Just practicing some F-18 stuff.
Not too bad.
On the carrier. Trying to start and take off and stuff.
He's in the middle of an alignment. What else would you need? You already uncaged your little SAI?
I did.
Alright, did you turn on your HMD?
HMD did. Head-mounted display is on.
Did you align your HMD?
No.
You probably won't need to do it, but what you would do is you would click on the menu button, the center button on one of your MFDs. Bottom center.
Yep.
Once you click on that bottom center button, click it till it says SUPT at the bottom.
Yep, got it.
Alright, and then on the left side, in the middle, it'll say HMD. You click on that, and then at the bottom left of that screen, you will see the align button.
Let's say HMD. Not HMD.
It's in the middle on the left. So you're in the support page? Yeah, on the left column of those buttons. On the support page.
Oh, HMD, right you are. I thought it said HSI. Got it.
And then at the bottom left of that page, it'll say align.
Oh, yeah.
And then you line up both those crosses best you can, and then you will hold, it's a button on your throttle. It is called cage uncage button. You could also use C on your keyboard.
Got it. It worked.
Oh yeah.
So the
Now you can set your left screen.
Menu HMD align.
Yeah. Now you can set your screen back to FLIR or whatever you would like it to be.
Is that FCS? No. Where's FLIR at when it's at home? Bud?
Click the menu button. And make sure it's on TAC.
Yep.
So top left. Top row.
Yep. Alright.
So that's your stores heading. The button up and to the right of that one that you just clicked, that would be your FLIR. So you would go back to TAC menu.
Oh, at the top. Yep, flow.
Yeah.
Right you are.
Yeah, so if I'm describing anything on the MFDs, I'm going to say top, left, right, or bottom. That'll give you your row, and then I'll tell you where it's at in that row.
That's good. What are you up to tonight, Blackbird?
Nothing much. I saw you were doing F-18 stuff, and I was going to offer to teach you some BVR
I'm
theory.
down.
I will take you up with the offer here in a minute.
What you'll have to tell me what that acronym is.
Beyond visual range.
Ah, yes.
So you have ACM, which is air combat maneuver, which is anything within visual range. And then you have BVR, which is anything beyond visual range. So anything outside of 10 miles, typically.
Right. Beyond visual.
So if anybody's saying, oh, I want to ACM dogfight you, that means no missiles, basically. They want to go head-to-head. And if they want to BVR fight you, then they want to go missiles fight.
AC air combat mode versus
Air combat maneuver.
maneuver versus. There's so many acronyms.
Is it maneuver or mode? I think it's maneuver.
Air combat. I would say mode.
Well, that's what ACM modes are, but that's ACM mode. So air combat maneuver mode.
Gotcha.
624. Alright, Qual. Can you, if you're under 5, can you start doing stuff, or you have to be 0.5?
I think you have to be at least 21 to
Are you
operate.
talking about your
a jet.
alignment?
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So typically, just the further down it ticks is the more accurate it's going to be. So if you're only doing air-to-air stuff, you don't even need your INS. So
Yeah, usually I only see. Usually I put it in IFA after about 6. So usually at 6 or 5, I usually switch it over to IFA.
Cool. I'm about there, so I'm on IFI now.
if you read the manual, there's usually like a what do you call, like a bug out? Not bug out. What is it called? Scramble mode.
Okay.
Where it's like, okay, you can run your alignment for 30 seconds and then flip it over, and it'll be 80% of the way, or whatever.
Cool.
And then it'll also have your minimum for full alignment, which is usually like it's on the F-16, which I fly, is different than the 18, so I wouldn't be able to know.
Wing unlink?
Wing unlink? Are your wings down?
No, they're up.
I mean, do they need to be down? Or, oh no, you can taxi with your wings up, that's right.
Yeah, no, I'm already in the air. I'm flying.
Oh. Did your wings come unlocked?
I guess so. After I fold them out, do I have to put them back in hold?
Yeah, and then, like, maybe if you pull some negative G's and then flip them into hold, it might work.
Oh, at first I thought it worked, and then it was like, hey, autopilot's on.
Oh.
The crew directing is very cool. That's my first experience with it.
I haven't seen that yet, really. I've seen
the
videos, but
carrier.
I haven't seen it on the deck yet. Yeah, last time I was flying on the carrier, they hadn't done that yet.
I'm streaming it. If you're interested.
I gotta be honest, it's hard for me to watch the stream and talk to at the same time. Everything is in a delay, and it's just, it makes my life hell.
It's like talking on the phone and you're hearing your echo.
But not just that, it's like seeing everything delayed, because then I see some, like, maybe I'll see you make a mistake, and then I go to correct you, but you're already 30 seconds past it, and you're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. You just have to assume there's something seriously wrong with me.
I see he's got the paddles working.
Yeah. Like the day I decide to try and fly.
So is the white line the route taken? Is that
I'm
what
not
that
sure.
is
I'm not
indicating?
sure. Are you looking at my stats?
No, I'm looking maybe these are yours. I don't know, I'm looking at the charts that are popping up on there.
On Discord?
Yeah. Okay, so I see. Are you using your ILS to do these approaches?
Well, no, I don't know. I'm
Instrument
using,
landing system? Are you tuning into the both frequencies and riding your needles in?
No,
Or are you doing it by eye?
by eye.
We gotta get you set up on the INS as well. Or ILCS. What is it called on the carrier? ILCS?
I
Instrument.
have no clue.
So freaking cool.
Instrument landing carrier system? I don't know. Instrument landing control system. The 16 is just an ILS.
The animations are amazing.
It's only taken him a decade to get there.
Why is he putting his hand up in the air and going squiggle, squiggle, squiggle? What do you reckon that means?
Is he telling you to spool your engine?
Yeah.
Is that spool, is it?
Is he doing a circle facing the sky?
He is.
Yeah, that's spool up your engines.
Yeah. Spool up your engines. Once your engines are spooled, hit salute again, and you'll launch.
So is it like to 80 or?
I'd do full burner.
Yeah.
I don't know what the proper thing is to do, but I'm freaking Ricky Bobby out here, man. I like to go fast.
Right, give him a salute. He's giving me the point. Thumbs up. Let's do it, boys. Let's go.
So usually you see the guys next to him kneel, and then he'll kneel down, and then you salute him, and then that's when it goes.
He's like nose up a lot. I didn't set it to half. That's the issue.
So a couple of the hand signals. If the guy does like the arm and the elbow, like "fuck you" sign, you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
So if he does that, that means you need to put your hook up, or not your hook, but your launch bar.
It's surprisingly intuitive. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I managed to make my way around the
It's
deck and
pretty.
do
Yeah,
this stuff.
it's
Very
not
impressive.
hard. Yeah, it's not like it was made complicated for no reason, you know.
Yeah, we got enough to worry about. Flying these things.
What's another one? If they what is it? If they cross their arms, basically if they're waving, it's go forward. Like crossing their arms above their head. You might have to remind me on some of these blue. It's been a while.
Yeah, so tell me what you... I'll try and land this thing. But let me know what I need to do for the beyond visual range.
I was just gonna compile some pictures real quick to make my life a little easier when trying to teach this. But I won't be able to teach you the A-18, but I'll just teach you how look down, shoot down radars work and
Gotcha.
BVR theory.
Excuse me for 1 second. There's an alarm going off, hence my falling out of the sky.
Huh.
So I should be at downwind. Is it 600 or 500? Carrier.
I don't know. What are you talking about? Blue? Are you there?
Yeah.
What's he talking about?
Isn't it like
Wait,
900, 600, 450 or 900, something like that?
Do you have your TACAN tuned?
Possibly? I don't know.
So if your TACAN, how far is it from the carrier before you start pulling up? Or do you know what I'm talking about, Blue?
What do you mean when you're
Take
coming
off
in for a
and then you're
landing?
supposed to stay below an altitude off the carrier deck
Yeah, I think it's...
for a certain
I
distance.
think it's whenever you're in formation. I think it's about 1,500 feet.
I think if
What?
you're doing...
Oh, for how
circuit back
long,
to the
though?
Carrier, isn't it 5 seconds straight away and then you chuck a left?
Oh, you're talking about pattern?
Yeah, pattern to
Oh.
capture
Uh,
the thing.
I patterned by field, to be honest, or by sight. I don't have metrics I go by. It's usually about like 2,000 feet above the... Well, but then again, I don't do a lot of carrier stuff, so I wouldn't be able to have that either. I'm like 2,000 feet above the ground, and it's like, oh, well, that doesn't really make sense for you.
Oh man, I'm flying.
I'm gonna reslot because I'm having trouble.
Your wing lock still?
Yeah.
Don't go low, come on.
Oh yeah, you're coming in way too low for that approach. Is your hook down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have your lights? Do you have the... Are you seeing the lights on the deck?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it down. Come hell or high water. Eh! I'm dead.
I'm dead.
Oh, that's funny as fuck, bro. I was watching your stream and you hadn't hit anything yet. And you said I'm dead and I was like, oh, he just knows. And then all of a sudden I heard an explosion. I was like, what?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what should I jump in? Or where should I jump in? What are the point?
I'm gonna try
I'll
this
just share
18
my
again.
screen for now.
Actually, just give me one moment. I'm gonna throw something in the oven.
Okay.
Damn it, now y'all are both streaming.
Blue, how does the F-18, I understand it has like several different modes for the radar as far as BVR goes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like look down, shoot down, which is like normal, which you'd find in any jet. And then you also have like a scope mode, where like you're looking at the sky in front of you in a way with the radar screen. Is that right?
I have no clue. I haven't even implemented
It's
any
like the
ground
higher
lines yet.
altitude, the higher up on the screen it is, the lower altitude, the lower down on the screen it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I just mapped my controls for this last night.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm practicing today.
I am ready. So I should warn you
Because
that
the
I might
war's over.
crack with little notes. Yeah. So what should I load into? Like, where should I load in?
I was just gonna show you some stuff, basically, and like explain things in
Yeah,
a way.
Cool.
So, are you able to see my screen share?
Uh,
What? And it goes on and on. We are the champions, my friend.
Are you able to see what I'm looking at here?
it's helpful if I put it on this when I play this back. And I think some of this, like all the stuff that I've been doing, we can probably I can probably clip it and make some folks. All right, I'm sharing it now.
Okay, so do you know what I mean by look down, shoot down radar?
No.
So basically, if you're looking at a raw image of a radar, it kind of looks like this.
Yep.
You're gonna see basically the ground in front of you, printed out as a map.
Like a topological.
So basically, you're looking down upon the field in front of you, and so your aircraft is, like right here. You're looking down out in front of you. This is your screen, basically. So the radar sees everything in this cone. It doesn't see like your radar screen displays as a square. Your radar screen will look like that, kind of, and this will be your aircraft. So imagine this all gets stretched out, and this gets kind of squeezed in, just to make it a rectangle. Does that make sense?
Say that again. So when you're looking at the the down view, it actually takes the triangle and stretches.
Yep, it takes that pizza slice, because it's not cut off like that. You've got an equal distance from your aircraft all the way around that radius, and it takes it and it stretches it up, and it stretches the image basically to make it a rectangle. So if an aircraft is right here on your radar, it is the same distance away from you as an aircraft right here. Does that make sense?
Did y'all just get the mission restarting thing?
I'm not in the server.
Oh. Must be nice. I just finished my startup and I was about to taxi.
Does that make sense, Dogdoor?
I think it does. Yeah.
So these two radar signals are equal distance from your aircraft, even though this one would theoretically be longer on a rectangle, because they would be right here and here, same distance. So that's like the first thing, is trying to understand that what you're looking at is not a rectangle out in front of you. You're looking at a cone of what's out in front of you, and it's not just a flat cone. You have elevation to that as well, and it will hit the ground at some point, so it will flatten out. So what you'll get on your screen is something along the lines of, let's say, a 15-mile range, and then you'll have your cursor, which it kind of looks on a 16. It kind of looks like 2 bars side by side. Next to those, I would have 20,000, and then I would have 2,000. So what that's saying is my scan range is from 20,000 feet to 2,000 feet. So it wouldn't be hitting the ground yet, where my cursor is. So my cursor would be reading like right here. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And if I pulled it closer to me, right here, it would probably say 20, what would it be, like 15, because this distance has shrunk because I'm closer to the aircraft. If I went further, it would bottom out at 0, and it would keep at 0 as it went further. So that's like the biggest thing, is just understanding the radar. After that, it's just mostly just kind of flying to intercept, flying and understanding your RWR. Your RWR is your radar warning receiver.
So, no question though. So, in the first scenario, so you've got the dot on the left of the radar at the top at around 15, and then you've got the dot just directly to the right of that in the square. If you look at that in the pizza, wouldn't the central one be further away? Or you're saying?
So it is. They're this would be like right here, but they're equal distance. So this line is equal to this line. This line is equal to this line. They're the same distance, even though on the rectangle it seems like this one is further. It's just further to the left. It's not any further away from you. So when this top bar says 15 miles, it's that 15 miles. It's that curve.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And then you have okay, so this is important. You have 2 different modes for a look down, shoot down radar most of the time. Some aircraft don't have this, but usually you have an RWS.
Yep.
And then you have a TWS. So you have range while scan and then track while scan. So these are 2 different modes that your radar can be in when you're locking a target. So let's say I want to lock up, let me add in 2 new characters here. Okay, so let's say I want to lock up this guy. I'm going to move my cursor over him.
Yep.
And I can decide whether to range while scan lock or TWS lock, track while scan. So if I choose to range while scan lock him, 100% of my radar energy is now going to be directed at this individual. No more elevation, no more side to side. It's pointed right at him, basically. Not directly, it kind of does a little maneuvering around him, but it's basically looking directly at him and him alone. So what I'm doing is finding out how far he is, how high off the ground he is. I know exactly where he is, right, in this, with all this information. I know how fast he's going, even with a range while scan lock. So that's it's more powerful, so you can lock people up from further away. The bad side about it is they know as soon as this happens. As soon as you lock them up RWS, they get a notification that's basically like when you start getting your beeping on your end. Starts yelling at you. Because they know that somebody's looking at them. Because that radar's pointed at them and them alone. But you can fire a missile from far away, so who cares, right? But we'll talk about that later. Then we can do the other option, which is a track while scan lock. So what I can do is tell my radar, I want to pin this guy, track while scan. My radar is now going to focus most of its energy into only this region. So it's going to look at him, and it's going to look at everything around him. So if he's got somebody near him, maybe he's 10,000 feet below him, or maybe he's a couple miles off to the side, my radar is looking at him, like it's keeping his track, but it's also looking at everything around him. So it's a track while scan. So it's not as powerful, because if the target goes cold and starts chaffing, then the radar is more easily confused because it's not spending 100% of its time looking at that one target. And then what else you can do with a track while scan in some aircraft is you can lock up multiple targets. So what I can do is lock this guy up, and then I can come over here and lock him up. So that's usually what a lock looks like, is when it goes full box. And then what I can do is I can fire a missile at him and at him at the same time, and my aircraft is keeping track of 2 targets for 2 missiles. An F-16 can do this for up to 4 missiles at a time. So it can lock 4 targets and track 4 missiles in.
The F-16 can track 6 targets.
And track while scan?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. You shoot all 6 of your AIM-120s.
Huh. I don't remember that from when I learned it. When I was taught this all, the 16 can only have 4 active locks at a time.
Okay, man. Not everyone can be as good as I am. Type shit. Like, yeah, no, it's I've been able to do 6.
Huh. Okay. But basically, the cool thing about a track while scan is, even though it's less powerful, they might have to get closer to you and able to lock them up. What you can do is, when you fire that first missile, your radar hasn't changed its behavior. It's not looking just at him. It's not looking, it's not doing anything different. So they don't even know the missile's been fired, because they don't know what the missile's doing. They only know what your radar's doing. So if your radar's beaming them and only beaming them, they're like, oh shit, something's coming. But if nothing happens, there's no indication. Their RWR doesn't know that a missile's been launched. So you could have 2 missiles in the air, and by the time they make it into Pitbull, which is usually only like a mile away, or so from a target, that's when their radars, the missile's radar, starts locking them up by themselves, and they get their own lock, and that's when their RWR starts going off, because your radar still hasn't changed. So that Pitbull warning is when when you're in your RWR and it starts going nuts on you. That's what they're experiencing. So by that time, they usually haven't bled off any energy from the missile. A bunch of other theory stuff that we'll get into later, and it's more easy to get the kill. Alright, so we can talk about theory now for like air intercepting, doing BVR combat. What am I looking for here?
Range, scanning. Target one?
Track while scan.
Tracking scan.
Different parts is RWS, is more powerful. You can lock them from further away, but they know they're being locked. Track while scan is weaker. You can lock multiple targets, and you can see the airspace around the target as well as the target while they're locked. And then also, they don't get a missile warning when they fire a missile. Okay, so okay, actually. So this is your aircraft. This is an enemy aircraft. Let's say this distance right now is 40 miles. So from this point, you're able to see basically you're able to see something on your radar screen popping up. because he is just breaching the 40-mile gap, which is what your most radars start picking up targets at. So you have that set to 40. You won't be able to shoot a missile yet because he's outside of range of your missile, and you know that because AIM-120Cs don't go 40 miles. Not in this game, at least. Theoretically, they do in real life, though.
Can I ask a quick question? So because
Yeah.
I know there's you can sort of range out. So if you got that set to 160, I was on that, like in some of
Right.
the test.
So if
missions.
you have it ranged out to 160, he's going to be like right here on your screen.
I couldn't see any target. What was going on? With
Well, there's more. So with that look down, shoot down radar, there's more than just the side to side. There's also, or the length. There's also the up and down. So if you're scanning close to you, you're only going to be able to scan a couple thousand feet. If you're scanning further away, you can scan from 0 to 40. So depending on where they're at and what your radar is set to, because you can change how many bars your radar will scan. So like the maximum for a 16 is a 4-bar scan. So it would scan four times across the sky before resetting to the top. But if you have that set to a 2-bar or 1-bar scan, then it's only looking at, say, 2,000 feet at 40 miles left and right. You know, a 2,000-foot slice out of the sky. So it's more than just, you know, it's a 3-dimensional space out in front of you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So even though your radar is set to 40, you might be at their top of your radar might be at 35, and he might be at 36,000 feet. It might just be that far off, you know, and it won't be displayed. So keeping that in mind, let's say he's at 26,000 feet, and you're at 30,000 feet. So you're flying at him, he's flying at you. You're both hot, is what that's called. If the target is pointed at you, the target is hot. Yep. When the target turns away, the target's cold. So you're both hot on each other at 40 miles. As you push in, you may be able to get an RWS lock on him from 40 miles out. That is going to work. You get the lock, but your bracket down here for your missile is going to look like this. So I'll draw that a little bigger. So this is your missile queue, your missile launch queue. So this is going to tell you what range your missile can shoot. So the target's way up here, and your missile can't shoot until he's down here. Does that make sense?
I didn't see that red up.
So this is
the cursor's behind the red.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just trying to fill it in to make it bold. So the solid red is where the current target is currently. Gotcha. The hollow red is where you need it to be before you can fire your missile. Yeah, gotcha. So even though you can lock them up at 40 miles, your missile's not going to make it.
Limited.
So what you can do is you can do 2 things. You can climb. You can go up to 36,000 feet. And what that's going to do is that's going to move this bar. So it's going to push the minimum requirement for the missile higher up.
Is that because it's got a downward trajectory?
Yeah, but it's more so about the thinner air.
Interesting. Yeah.
The missile uses a rocket motor, not a jet engine. So the thinner air you get it in, the more energy it's going to have. Just regardless. Even if you fire from a standstill, the higher up you go, the more energy. So that's going to push that bar up. The other thing you can do is you can drive at the target. And what that's going to do is bring the target arrow down. And then this is just a representation. There's no numerical values based off of the queue. So this is going to move and shift just to make it a good, easy picture for you to read at a glance. So all you need to know is that this isn't there yet. and it's about so far. You know, you have that far much further to go before it is. Does that make sense? I know I kind of said that weird. It's just a representation, so it's going to move and shift. It's going to morph, you know, and then what's going to happen eventually is you're going to get. I don't know if how this is displayed on the 18, but as you get closer, you'll get a second bar. And what that is saying is this is your minimum missile range. So this is where you have to get at least this close to fire the missile. But if you get him here, even if he flips 180 degrees and burns hot away from you, that missile's still going to hit him. So that's your maximum effective range, or what is it? Minimum? What is it? Maximum?
What? Where?
What am I trying to think of?
The missile's like guaranteed to hit?
Yeah, guaranteed kill range or whatever, guaranteed hit range, whatever that's called. Basically, because if you get fired on here, you can flip 180 degrees. If you went boom and started diving, that reduces altitude to get thicker air to bleed that missile energy off. Then that bar is going to start going back down. But, you know, he's going to leave outside of your missile range. But if you fire at him here, when that bar gets down to him, that's when the missile's going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
kind of weird. You'll get it as soon as you see it. It'll make a lot more sense. But that's how the AMRAM works, basically. Sparrows are kind of different. You can't lock a target up, track while scan with a Sparrow. It has to be a RWS lock.
Jimmy was not a fan.
Oh, I love Sparrows, man. Sparrows are deadly. It's like I don't even know how to compare it. It's what's a good size reference for that? Oh, like a decent sized salad bowl, you know?
Okay.
Like that's the diameter of a Sparrow.
Yep.
Like, and that's a 7 or 8 foot long missile. That's a big ass. That's a lot of payload going at the target. Yeah. So, and then also the Sparrows have a. Oh yeah, the Sparrows have a longer burning motor, so it's kind of fun to see them rocket their way all the way into a target. The black or the white smoke trail all the way in, and then boom, right into. It's pretty cool. And they turn. I think a Sparrow will turn harder than an AMRAM at close range. I don't know. That might just be my tinfoil hat.
For anyone watching right now, this is Blackbird, who's one of the senior members of, fair to say, the 56 Operations Group. You also do traffic control and co-design the missions. You do a heap of the work.
I don't do nearly as much as Jimmy. I basically just build him, what do you call them, templates?
Well, he was singing your praises, so I'm sure you do a fair bit. So yeah.
And then I nag in his ear when something's awry, and so he fixes it.
Blackbird is our quality control.
Basically.
Yeah, so anyone watching, if you're interested, the guys build active dynamic missions, constantly, and want to get in amongst it, just check the about my Twitch stream, and there's a link to very friendly, welcoming. Like, you know, I'm a complete noob, giving their time to teach me stuff. So, as you were, Blackbird.
Okay, so let's say you did both of those things we were talking about. You drove into the target and you climbed up to 36,000 feet. So now we're at, let's say, 25 miles distance. Then, I wish I could where's the easy way of doing this? Not an easy way of doing this.
We should, totally should.
Oh, there's better tutorials than me out there. I'll tell you that. I learned this from other people, you know, and I didn't. I taught myself basically just off of YouTube. There we go.
Top my drink up. I'll be 1 second. Keep talking on.
Okay.
My headset mobile. The dogs are looking at me. Why haven't we been walked yet? Bribe them with treats. Alright, I'm back.
Okay, so let's say we're at 25 miles. He's still at 26,000 feet, but you're at 36,000 feet.
Yep, gotcha.
That whole time you've also been getting faster. And when you climb and get fast, it moves that bar up. So now he's in range for your first shot. But you know that those Russians are crafty and they have long range, extended range, whatever BS they need to propagandize missiles. So they can shoot their missiles before you typically. That's not always. Sometimes you get a shot off first, but not usually. At least from my understanding. But from this angle, you're higher than him. You're faster than him. He's lower down. You're going to be able to get your missile off first. So you fire. You have one in the air. So he, knowing you just fired a missile because you have him in an RWS lock,
now thinks you're trying to kill him.
Yeah, he's going to go completely defensive. So he's doing that U-turn. He's flipping 180 degrees, going cold, diving, the whole 9 yards. Now, there's a good chance before he did that, he just said F it and fired a missile anyway, even though he wasn't in range. And they usually will do that sometimes. Sometimes you have multiple, so they'll wait, but then, you know, the AI is smarter than you think. But they'll fire a missile at you, even though they know it's not going to reach you, before they turn cold. Because what you're going to do now is you're going to see that missile, even if you don't see it, you're going to start your crank. And what a crank is you're going to turn, usually in the same direction that they turned. And you're going to turn until that dot is all the way over here at the edge of your screen. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But you need to make sure they stay within the edge of your screen.
You just keep them on the edge of your screen, basically. Yeah, you don't want them to get too close to that edge. You just want to keep them right in there. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to maintain your lock on the target, keep that missile tracked all the way over, and while you're cranking, his missile is also turning. And when his missile turns, it loses energy. And the same thing for yours, so that's why he turned. But anyway, so you're trying to bleed the energy out of his missile. So you're going to move that all the way to your edge, and then you're also going to dive. You're going to reduce your altitude because your missile's already in the air. You don't need your altitude. The higher up you are, the more dangerous of a spot you are because their missiles can fly farther. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the thinner air. You're dragging their missile down into thicker air.
Yep. So you're going to dive and crank. And so whenever it says crank, that's what they're talking about. Turn till they're all the way at the edge of your radar. So if they're further away, you know, your crank is going to be, you know, you're going to be looking out your left window at them. You know what I mean? And that's depending on the type of lock you have too, because sometimes if you have your radar in the wrong mode, like I do all the time, you only have a 30-degree cone instead of a 60-degree cone. And you crank them here and you end up dead.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Like the level of complexity to it. But
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense though. So and so presumably you can, so what you're doing is you are tracking level kind of diagonal on a diagonal strafe. With the
Exactly.
target, so
You don't want them to go.
radar range, but you're not.
You're not pointing your nose at the ground because you'll break lock that way too. You're basically putting him on the edge of your radar parameters
kind of,
in the corner.
Yeah. So you put you're heading kind of your nose down. What sort of angle of attack are you? Like
you're usually like -15, -20 degrees.
So that's a fair bit. Yeah.
I mean, you're diving, so I mean, if you're going really fast, you're pulling your throttle back. I'm usually pulling my throttle back when I crank, because if I'm at 36,000 feet going Mach 2, if I start diving, my aircraft's gonna blow itself to pieces as soon as I hit thick air. That's if modern aircraft aren't so bad, but if you full burner from 36,000 feet down, you might rip your wings off.
F-18 might be forgiving, because I think I do regularly.
I don't know about the F-18. Does it have high speed tolerance, or I don't know?
That's got a G limit.
Yeah, but that's normal. I mean, the 16 has the same.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean it's not limited? It's not automatically limited.
It is automatic.
No, the 18 is automatically limited.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Like a paddle you punch to break it.
Yeah.
Hey, I knew something.
Yeah, the 16 has a cool
yeah.
effect. Have you ever done the transonic pull, Blue, in the 16?
I've not used my override for authority, and
No. If you're pulling 9Gs like you can in the 16, if you're doing your 9G pull, and during that pull, if you go transonic and go below the sound barrier, you'll pull 12 Gs for like 3 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then it'll go back to 9.
No, I haven't done that then.
So, like, if you take that to your advantage, if you're on like a high speed turn fight, like I don't know whoever gets in a turn fight at Mach 1, but you can literally whip your nose around transonic. It's crazy.
Alright,
okay, so
dude.
you cranked, your missile, say, missed. He turned, the carrot started going up, and your missile ran out of energy before it could get there. But his missile ran out of energy too, so now you're turning back into target. He, since you fired the missile first, was full defensive, so he's only right here. He's only just now coming out of the turn, and you're right here. Oh, right here.
Yeah, because you're on him.
You're pointed right at him, which is good.
And you're on his tail, on his 6.
Yeah, that's not so important, because at this range, let's say we're now 15 miles. At 15 miles, there is no like on your 6 because we're still BVR, right? So, but right now, at this point, you are here on the bracket. Like that.
Yeah, so right in the sweet.
So you're in the sweet spot. So even if he turned away and went directly away from you at full burner, the missile's still going to make it. So you fire another missile, and if he knows he's going to die, he might turn at you and fire. So you're already cranking again.
And you're not going to... You've still got lock. You've released a missile. You've still got lock. You're tracking him.
Yeah, you've kept him locked up this whole time, but now your carrot has moved down into a position where you're in the kill zone. So you fire your next missile and start your next crank. If he turns at you and fires, you might have to bail out because you're in his dead range too. If he fires at you, you're gonna have to go full 180 and full defensive, pop and chaff the whole. Well, right here really is where you pop chaff. Right here is where you pop chaff. When you're 100, roughly 90 degrees to the target is when you use your chaff.
because it's
Um,
most effective because it effectively puts an angle on.
Right, because you know this look down, shoot down radar, right?
Yeah, it's looking.
What
at
they're
a
gonna see
straight
on their
line
radar,
through us,
yeah, they'll see you, and then they'll see
Yeah.
3 or 4 more dots. And they're like, wait, what? What's going on?
Yeah.
And the missile might go for that dot instead. So it's just it's most effective.
Yeah.
But basically, what you can do is if he didn't turn on you, or if you just don't know, you don't have a missile launch warning. The second your missile goes pitbull, you know that range at which its own radar takes over, you can break off. Because you know the missile's going on its own radar. You don't need your radar to assist it anymore.
Yeah, you can forget about him. He's dead.
Right. So that's the other part is, I don't know how it works on the A-18, but usually you have a countdown timer or whatever, and it'll count down to pitbull.
Oh, and
I'll test it out here in a minute.
Yeah. Squiggly mouse writing.
Yeah, so I think, what does the A stand for? Usually it stands, I think A is assist, or something like that. And then it switches to T, which is track.
I don't know. Some have a timer, and some have like a countdown, and some have just like you're saying.
Yeah, I like the F-16. I feel like it's very...
It's super easy.
Yeah.
You know exactly what's going on all the time around you. It's probably that, like, when I'm looking
also,
at
I figured out what the wing unlock is. You have to...
Square? Oh, yeah?
You have to scroll up to push the handle into its position to lock it in. That's what it was.
Wait, what?
So for the wings, whenever you fold it out to the spread position, whenever you do a cold start, the handle starts being out. It's not locked in.
Oh,
so
there's a second lock?
Yeah, so you flip it over to spread, and then you push the handle in.
I couldn't get it to push
So
in.
I have...
I think the keyboard... I think it's O on the keyboard.
On my Winway throttle, I have a wing fold knob. Probably the useless thing to have in a 16. And I have a spread, hold, and fold setting, and then it's also a push down for the lock. Like it's a push button, like the 5th button is push. I always just assumed it was the same way in the jet, in the 18. I didn't know there was a lever.
Yeah.
Sticky outy handle thing. Bigger than you think it would need to be. I guess you kind of want to make sure you can find it when you and not have to think about it. I guess that's logic.
Dog. This is what what is it called? What's the display on the right side of the 16 called?
Oh. What do you mean? Oh, which one?
Situational display.
The DDI.
The HSI. No, what is it called in the 16? Is it HSI?
I just thought it was called an MFD.
No, the MFD is like the physical screen.
Cheap viewers on streamboot.com. Remove the space.
This is the display
at
itself.
9MDUFS.
Oh, that tiny little display?
No, the one where you have it set for the situational awareness, where you see data link and everything on it.
Oh, the HMD?
No. That's
HSD.
HSD. That's right. HSD. So that's what this is in the 16. Basically, it's like a radar, but it uses data link instead of your own radar. So different than your look down, shoot down, it's actual representation of the airspace around you. So it's more like a map.
Okay.
So, you know, this target over here is actually 30 degrees to left of your nose. This allows the F-16 to be super effective because you can see, like these down here, these blue circles. Those are other F-16s that are connected via data link to this F-16. That's his flight, and these blue lines are showing locks that they have on these targets, or tracks, I should say, not locks. So it's showing that they have. That's kind of weird how I don't know if it's a pointing feature or if it's actually showing the track. I'm not super familiar with the buddy link system on the 16, but basically it's saying that they're looking at these guys. You have this guy tracked up, and these two other guys. It's basically showing everything around you that's going on in the battlefield. Shows you the enemies that you don't see yet. That's why they're hollow. So even though you're not seeing them with their radar, you can see them via data link. When they're solid like that, when they're not hollow, that means you have a radar lock on them.
Very cool.
Or you can see them with your radar, I should say. I think the 18 has something similar, but it's just it's like a green screen with just black. It's not as colorful as this. The Hornet doesn't have CMFDs like the 16. It would look more like.
Picked away. Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, that's a good image of the 16's radar. So you see how these two bars are right here?
Yep.
That's showing that. So he's in track while scan. Yeah, okay, it says it right here. I know it because of those bars, but he's in track while scan mode, and he says it right there. So he's got this guy locked, or this guy pinned, but he can see this guy on his radar scope, and he's got 3 other targets showing up on data link.
Mm-hmm.
So they're hollow, so they're only on data link. He doesn't see them, but he can see this guy, and he can see the guy who's got pinned. So he can switch between these 2 targets. He can fire a missile, whatever he needs to do. It doesn't. Okay, this is another thing right here. This blue T. This is a visual representation of how far your radar is pointing up or down of the nose. It's in most radars. It doesn't always look the same, but it's usually on the left side. And it is just, if it's centered, it's you're co-out looking. You're looking directly out in front of you. If it's above you, you're looking above the nose. If it's below, you're looking below the nose. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Okay. Same thing down here. There's another T that's behind that ready. That'll slide back and forth depending on where your radar is looking. So when it's scanning, that T will be going back and forth. And then this guy will be going 1, 2, 3, 4, back to the top. 1,
So that's
2,
range.
3,
Yeah.
4, right? So it'll be these are just the elevation of the radar.
Okay.
So when it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, it's scanning let's say 15,000 feet, 13,000 feet, 10,000 feet, 9,000 feet. 15, 13, 10, 9. Right. Or whatever. So that T is saying the radar is pointed right here, right now. So if it's 1 bar up and over here, if you get an RWS lock, it'll be pinned on the target. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So in a TWS lock, he's got this guy locked and this guy visual. You'll be able to see him, but the T will still be bouncing between these 2 blue lines. Because it's only scanning this airspace. It'll just be pinging back and forth. And then if you double lock a guy on TWS, it usually goes straight to RWS, and it'll pin. It'll freeze up, the blue lines will disappear. It looks way different on the 18. This is the 16. This has color. The 18 doesn't have this. 18 looks more like that.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that.
I think actually I was just looking at F-18. So this is what, no, that's not. This is what the F-18 radar looks like. So you still have your radar elevation. You have, this I think is your scan left and right. This is your cursor, same brackets like I was showing you on the other one. Blue, do you know what's going on over here on the right side of the radar screen? The caret?
Ooh, hold on.
Is this the missile indicator?
Dude, I
I
actually have to.
do not know. It looks
That doesn't
similar to
seem
the
right.
15 though.
Yeah, I don't know what that is though.
I'm actually gonna.
Oh,
have
look, you've
to-
got the range on your right side.
Yeah, no, that's the tilt. What's up, dog?
Yeah, it's I gotta kind of serve up dinner and
Oh, no worries, no worries.
take care.
You're good.
But thanks so much. Really appreciate the tutorial and. Yeah,
I'd get with
good
one of
game.
the 122 guys, or what was the 122? Because they're experts in the 18. Like they are through and through. Like Jimmy, Fifi, all of them.
Glue.
Glue, yep. Anybody with a 122 tag, if that even still exists.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we
it
still have
does.
the 122
It's all the
tags on
dark
here.
blues, yeah.
Dark blue. Keep an eye.
Yep.
Yeah, but many thanks.
They're except me. Except me. I'm the only one that's not an 18 guy because I'm ATC.
Well, for an ATC, yeah. Cool. Well, thanks so much. And forward to doing it.
Yeah,
It's
man.
great until you get to the F4.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm staring at.
Always think. Yeah. I think it's a boy.
Yeah, right.
To the people.
Looks more like this, but yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks again.
All right. Peace
Yeah,
out,
man.
G.
Take care. I am on the longest inbound flight for frickin'
Dog said, "Thanks for watching."